The air was crisp and invigorating in Summit Ridge, where the granite cliffs loomed like ancient giants over the small town below. Maple trees lined the streets, their leaves turning shades of gold and crimson under the early autumn sun. Emily Hart sat cross-legged on the ground outside the local climbing gym, her heart racing with anticipation as she mentally prepared for the upcoming mountain climbing competition. Emily had always felt more at home in nature than among the chatter of townsfolk. From a young age, her spirit of adventure had compelled her to climb the trees that bordered her backyard, then the hills behind her childhood home. She often dreamed of standing atop the world, looking down at everything she had conquered. But a traumatic fall 4 years ago, not long after the death of her mother, had swept away her confidence and left her questioning not only her skills, but also her love for climbing. Hey there! Welcome to Storyational. This video is here to help you relax and drift into a peaceful sleep like a calming bedtime story. So, get comfortable, stay with me till the end, and let the story guide you into a restful night. Let's get started. Hey, are you ready? Lily Morgan's cheerful voice pulled Emily from her thoughts, and she looked up to see her best friend standing there. An encouraging smile painted across her face. Lily was everything Emily wasn't: exuberant, extroverted, and endlessly supportive. Working at the local gear shop, Lily had become an integral part of the climbing community and was one of the primary organizers of the competition. She was determined to get Emily back on the wall, and today marked their first training session since the announcement of the competition. "I think so," Emily replied, though uncertainty lingered in her voice. "It's just this climb is tougher than I remember." "Just focus on one hold at a time," Lily advised, adjusting the straps on her backpack, filled with climbing gear. "You always say it's not about the summit but about the climb, right?" Emily smiled, recalling a mantra she had repeated countless times during her years of training. Still, doubts nipped at the edges of her resolve. As they approached the climbing wall, Emily suddenly spotted Marco Rivera in the bustling gym. He was practicing on a bouldering wall, his sticky palms gripping the holds as he climbed higher and higher. Marco was a shy but immensely talented young climber she had recently taken under her wing. She appreciated his quiet determination, but she feared the pressure of competition might overwhelm him. "Look who's here!" Emily exclaimed, raising her voice to catch Marco's attention. Marco turned to them, a shy smile making its way across his face. "Hey, Emily." "Hey, Lily." He buzzed with nervous energy, adjusting his climbing shoes in a fidgety manner. "You ready for today?" Emily asked, hoping to ease his nerves. "I think so." "A little nervous, to be honest," Marco replied, running a hand through his hair. "That's normal," Lily chimed in, her excitement contagious. "Just remember to focus on the basics." "You've got this, Marco." As Emily watched Lily encouraging Marco, she couldn't suppress a smile. This was what climbing was about. It wasn't solely about conquering mountains, but about supporting one another, finding strength in friendship. Still, deep within her, the anxiety lingered like an uninvited guest. The following weeks flew by as Emily organized a series of training sessions for her small group. The local climbing competition was more than just a contest. It symbolized personal growth for everyone involved. Each training day unveiled new challenges, both physically and mentally. The mornings were filled with a mix of laughter and determination as Emily pushed her minds further than they thought possible. She worked closely with Sarah Chun, a fierce competitor overcoming a severe injury from the previous season. Sarah's resilience inspired everyone, but she carried the old wounds of fear alongside her eagerness to climb. "Why don't we do some mental exercises before the next climb?" Emily suggested during a break one afternoon, noticing Sarah's tense posture as she watched others ascend the wall. "Visualize each movement. Focus on the holds before you start." "Sounds good, but it's so hard sometimes," Sarah confessed, her voice shaky yet resolute. "Every time I get up there, I just remember what happened last time." "That's okay. It's part of the process," Emily assured her. "Just take it one step at a time. You can do this." Meanwhile, Tom Jackson, a recent addition to the group, struggled to refine his technique. A natural athlete with an adventurous spirit, Tom moved quickly, but seemed often out of control. His overwhelming confidence often led him into perilous situations, much to Emily's chagrin. "All right, everybody, let's work on foot placements today," she announced, leading them in a series of drills. "Tom, you're going to want to slow down a bit here." "Come on, Emily. I can do this," Tom retorted, attempting a challenging route with more brazen determination than skill. "Let's see how you manage some basic footwork first," she insisted, crossing her arms as she watched him slip and stumble, hitting the crash pad below with an ungraceful thud. Okay, I'll give it a try," he laughed, rising quickly to embrace the friendly banter. "I just want to be the best." Emily chuckled, but was aware of the serious competition looming ahead. She wanted to help her mints grow, including aiding Marco in overcoming his shyness and self-doubt. As the group's training intensified, they planned a climbing retreat over the upcoming weekend, a chance for everyone to test their mettle in the natural environment, away from the distractions of daily life. The destination was a beautiful climbing spot by a lake, surrounded by magnificent peaks. "It's going to be great," Lily exclaimed, bouncing with excitement as she helped load gear into the car. "We'll conquer those cliffs together. It'll be a bonding experience for all of us." On the first day of the retreat, the sun rose with brilliant hues of orange and pink, casting a magical glow over everything. Emily felt a rekindled determination as she stood at the base of the towering cliffs, the fresh air filling her lungs. It was time to climb. The group split into pairs, and Emily chose Marco as her climbing partner. Although he was nervous to tackle the first ascent, she saw the spark of ambition in his eyes, the fiery desire to prove himself. "Just keep in mind the phrases we practiced. Focus on your breathing, visualize your movements," Emily encouraged as they prepared to scale the face of the rock. But as they climbed, Marco's confidence began to grow with each deliberate hold he reached for. Emily called out reminders, praising his progress, and soon Marco was soaring higher than she'd imagined he could. The joy on his face was contagious. Just below them, Sarah and Tom encouraged each other, forging camaraderie while Lily worked on another route nearby, taking it slow with a more challenging path. But suddenly, a sharp scream broke through the tranquil sounds of nature. Emily's heart dropped as she swung her head toward the direction of the noise. It was Sarah. She had slipped while climbing, her foot coming off the hold just below her. I hope you're enjoying the story so far and feeling more relaxed. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss a story, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay with me until the end. There's still more to enjoy, and your support means the world. "Sarah," Emily cried, rushing to the wall. Though she hadn't fallen far, the sudden panic surged through Sarah, and her mind raced. Emily slipped into the role of the mentor she had fought so hard to become, guiding Sarah through her breathing techniques. "Look at me. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Exhale," Emily instructed, her voice calm despite the rocky terrain and the fear that loomed above. Sarah did as she was told, grounding herself through Emily's soothing encouragement. "Know you have the support of the rope. Just get back on the wall. You can do it." Bit by bit, Sarah began to climb again, regaining her rhythm. The relief washed over Emily like a tidal wave. They were in this together, a team, each one uplifted by the other. Once Sarah safely reached the anchor point at the top, cheers erupted from the ground below. "You did it, Sarah! That was amazing!" Marco shouted, his jubilation infectious. As the days passed during the retreat, every member of the group faced their challenges head-on. Marco found his confidence on the cliff. Sarah embraced the thrill of climbing without fear. And Tom learned the art of precision, slowing down to find the technique he desperately sought. But in the shadow of the mountains, Emily confronted her own demons. The rekindled memories of that fateful fall lingered, threatening to pull her back into the depths of despair. While she pushed everyone else to climb higher, her heart battled the thoughts of failure. As their retreat came to an end, the morning of the final day arrived with a solemn beauty. The sky was blanketed with clouds that hinted at an impending storm, but Emily felt an irresistible pull to tackle one last climb, a route she had conquered countless times but had since abandoned. Are you going to tackle the Widow's Peak? Lily asked, her eyes widening as they gazed up at the formidable climb. I have to, Emily replied, determination burgeoning within her. If not now, when? With every eye upon her, she began her ascent of the rough cliff face. Each movement felt like a battle against her fears, each hold a reminder of how she had slipped before. Halfway up the route, just as she had predicted, the rain began to fall, coating her hands in the slickness of tension. Gritting her teeth, she pressed on, determined not to fall again. Stay focused. You've got this, Emily, Marco called out. A hint of admiration filling the it was as if time paused. The rock was familiar beneath her fingers, but the storm above matched the tempest within her heart. Her foot slipped on a wet hold, and she found herself falling back towards the abyss. Yet, as instinct kicked in, Emily remembered the words of encouragement from those she had inspired. Breathe, she reminded herself. One hold at a time. With newfound clarity, her hands locked onto the next hold. The external thunder began to blend with the thunderous cadence of her heartbeat. But with every push, every step forward, she felt an irreplaceable sense of liberation. Finally, she reached the summit, the rain cascading around her like a baptism of strength. With tears mingling with raindrops, she took a moment to savor the view. A panorama of breathtaking mountains and lush valleys stretched out before her. She had reclaimed her passion and her life. When she descended the wall after everyone had gathered, Emily embraced her friends tightly. The trials of these past days had forged an unbreakable bond among them. As they drove back from the retreat, the rain drizzled softly against the windshield. But within the car, there was a spirit of celebration and camaraderie. They shared laughter and stories, recounting moments that solidified their friendships. However, the thought of the upcoming competition loomed on Emily's mind. She had faced one mountain, but millions still stood in her path, including the one she needed to face with her estranged father, David Hart. He had once been a celebrated climber, but had distanced himself from Emily after her mother's passing, leaving her feeling abandoned. Are you all right? Lily asked, glancing sideways. Emily replied, though she knew that her heart was heavy with unfinished business. Just thinking about the competition and what it means, you're going to be amazing. You've trained harder than everyone else. Marco chimed in, squashing her doubts with sincerity. The weight of their support soothed her heart, but as the miles rolled on, she felt an undeniable pull to reach out to her father. She knew that reconciliation wouldn't be easy, but clinging to old resentments would only hinder her progress. Perhaps it was time to climb that mountain too. The conference center buzzed with excitement as competitors filled the space, the air thick with camaraderie and competition. The banner over the stage proclaimed, Summit Ridge Annual Climbing Competition. Spectators and climbers mingled, sharing tips, stories, and laughter. Emily stepped through the doors, her heart racing as she spotted her friends. Here we go. Let's show them what we've got. Lily proclaimed, her spirit electric. Emily leaned against the wall, watching Marco, Sarah, and Tom hone their skills with focused determination. The nerves of competition weighed down the atmosphere, but a fire flickered in their spirits. As they gathered for their final strategy briefing, Emily stole a glance at the entrance, unsure if David would show up and whether she should hope he did. You okay? Sarah asked, noticing Emily's hesitancy. I think so. Emily sighed. It's a lot to process. When the competition starts, remember it's just another climb, right? We've faced worse. Marco reassured her. The competition was fierce, but they faced it with resilience. Each climber performed admirably, overcoming their personal demons while the audience cheered them on. Emily climbed with newfound freedom, each movement a testament to her growth, every hold a triumph over her past. As it neared the final round, victory was within reach. With every ascent, the cheers and shouts filled her ears. She felt alive, electrified by the atmosphere. When she reached the summit of the final route, the applause resonated in her heart. They had all become champions of their own right, no matter the outcome. After the final climbers, Emily searched the crowd, her eyes landing on a familiar figure. Standing at the back, watching with a mix of uncertainty and pride, was her father, David Hart. The weight of their past pressed heavily upon her, but in this moment of triumph, she felt ready to face him. "Emily, you did it!" Lily shouted, breaking her reverie. "Thank you," she replied, adrenaline coursing through her. But her gaze remained fixed on David, who was still standing there, a quiet observer amidst the celebration. Gathering her resolve, she stepped away from her friends. As the day drew to a close, the awards ceremony began, each climber receiving accolades for their performance. Among them, Emily received an unexpected recognition, not just for her climbing, but for her role in mentoring others. Emily Hart, for her excellent guidance, leadership, and for bringing the community together, the announcer proclaimed, and the crowd erupted in cheers. With tears in her eyes, she accepted the award, but her heart swirled back to her father. She made her way through the throng of supporters and friends and stepped outside. David stood on the edge of the cliff, looking out over the valley. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting warm, golden hues across the landscape. With a deep breath, Emily approached him. "Dad," she ventured, her voice shaky. "I hope you're enjoying the story so far and feeling more relaxed. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss a story, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay with me until the end. There's still more to enjoy, and your support means the world." He turned slowly to face her, uncertainty etched on his face. "Emily, I know we haven't talked in a long time, but I'd like to," she began, her heart racing. "There's so much I want to tell you. I'm proud of you," he interjected, emotion brimming in his voice. "I'm proud of the climber you've become. I never wanted to hold you back." With those words, the wall between them began to crumble. They spoke together, sharing the fears they had held on to for far too long. They climbed the metaphorical mountains that had kept them apart, seeing the view clearly for the first time. As the last rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, casting vibrant colors across the sky, Emily realized this was it, the summit they had both been aiming for. It was a journey of healing, trust, and rediscovering love, woven together like the roots of the trees that surrounded them. In the weeks that followed, the relationship between Emily and David continued to strengthen. Conversations grew deeper, and she began to understand where her father had been coming from all those years. He shared stories of his own struggles with loss and the weight he felt as a climber. Together, they began to heal. With the support of her friends, Emily continued to mentor Marco, Sarah, and Tom. Each of them flourished, harnessing their newfound confidence and skill. They embraced climbing not just as a sport, but as a way to connect with themselves and with each other. Another competition approached, and this time, the atmosphere filled with joy instead of anxiety. Together, the team climbed during weekends, laughing and sharing moments that turned their struggles into reports of strength. As Emily stood at the base of another cliff one bright Saturday morning, she took a deep breath and felt the exhilaration of possibility within her. She had become so much more than just a climber. She had become a leader, a friend, and a source of inspiration for others. "Are you ready?" Marco asked, peeking out from behind her. Emily smiled back, looking up at the summit above, ready to tackle the next challenge. "Always." Together, they began the ascent, each hold a testament to their growth. A reminder that while the mountains would always stand before them, it was the journey and the people they shared it with that truly mattered. Months passed and seasons changed, but the bonds forged in the pressure of climbing outlasted any challenge before them. They participated in more competitions, but camaraderie always prevailed over rivalry. Emily's leadership role blossomed within the climbing community, where she became an advocate for nurturing young talent and supporting aspiring climbers. And so, the spirit of adventure didn't just thrive in the heights of Summit Ridge, but resonated throughout their lives. I hope you're enjoying the story so far and feeling more relaxed. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss a story, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay with me until the end. there's still more to enjoy, and your support means the world.